tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllables of recorded time.
It's the story of her life, but it's a story about life as well. It resonates on many emotional and sort of intellectual levels that I think offer us lessons learnt the hard way and learnt the good way that can serve us all in terms of how we go about our lives.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
It had nothing to do with me. The audience does the work. They are doing the acting. Everybody feels like they're a failure. Everybody feels they could have been a contender. Inferiority. I've been very close to it all my life.
The estate had been resistant to letting anybody make a documentary about Brando for all sorts of reasons, having to do with the way that he was kind of presented in his final years in mass media, and the estate didn't really want that to continue. They didn't want to encourage that, but he understood our background and experience and the kinds of films that we had done, and thought there might be something there, and said, and you know, there are all those audio tapes. And I was like, what do you mean there are all those audio tapes? And he said, well, nobody's ever listened to them. What do you mean nobody's ever listened to them? And well, they're sitting in boxes in the archive and nobody's ever opened them. What do you mean nobody's ever? And that was kind of how the ball got rolling.
This was going to require a director who would leave absolutely no stone unturned, or in this instance, who would listen to all 300 hours of those tapes, and I knew Stephen would. And so he and I met with Mike and with the estate, and they effectively opened all the boxes to us, and Stephen dived in, and you know, 18 months later, the film was done.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing. You don't always know when you're good. You have to look at the cameraman, the producer lurking in the corner, and say, I don't give a fuck about any of you.
And if by chance an honest man like yourself should make enemies, then he would become my enemies. And then they would fear you.
Here's the greatest actor our country has ever known. He is the premier acting artist in a culture where our actors actually do matter, and in Brando's time they mattered even more. The art of acting. Before Warhol's prediction of 15 minutes of fame for everyone, before the Beatles, there was Marlon Brando, the very first celebrity in this, what became the celebrity culture. And what you experience in this film is not only the perspective of the man who was the very first, but the burdens of that and the challenges to the art. And he lived at that nexus, and he was obsessed with the confrontation of that nexus. And in a way, he saw the future, and in many ways he saw the future, and needed to speak to it. And the great gift he left us behind was his first-person experience of all of that, which he diligently recorded throughout his life.